KHARLAN there looking very, very cool, calm and collected on the left. Here she comes, presented out to the crowd. A little wobble in the semi-finals against Shao Ayaki. And if you like, all the pressure is on the world number one here. Everyone's expecting her to win, so can Olga Nikitina soak up the atmosphere here and just fence with freedom? John Southfield, head of the British Sabre program, is here with me in the commentary box. John, I'm going to throw one simple question at you. What scoreline is Olga KHARLAN going to win this one by?
I don't think this one is a given.
Oh.
I think Nikitina's got less pressure. She's young, she's fearless. She's got really good tactics and technique. She's got a very experienced coach in her corner. I think how the match starts will be important. KHARLAN did have a wobble in the last round. I think she just lost focus at the end of the match, but she had that cushion. If she has a wobble and doesn't have a cushion, it might be a different story. Yeah,
but it was very, very tight in the end. 15-14 for KHARLAN to go through. Nikitina, much more comfortable run against Lembash, 15-6. But this is what it's all about. Straight off the line. Couple of small, sharp steps from Nikitina. Eyes open. KHARLAN did nothing. And we saw something like that in the semi-final with Sharo. KHARLAN not getting it right off the line.
Absolutely right. Nikitina sometimes does take people by surprise with the sharpness of that attack. Nice parry post. That is what her opponent in the previous round wasn't able to do. If you remember, we said that her parry post had been cancelled out, Lembash. And that is needed against this fencer. So a tap for the right, yes. So I think KHARLAN's slightly stronger and more consistent technique will stand her in good stead here. She will be able to pick up those parries.
So the first hit was a bit of a sighter for KHARLAN. Everything since then has been all one-way traffic for the Ukrainian. And of course, as soon as I say that, Nikitina sneaks in. She didn't really have the right of way there either.
No, KHARLAN was on the attack, thought Nikitina was going to go back, and at the very last second, Nikitina pulled out a sharp counter-attack. At that time, the Russian gave Olga KHARLAN a bit too much space. Can't give her that space to develop her attack. Attack for the left this time. KHARLAN waited a bit too long.
Again, it's these little couple of... They're fast, but they're very short steps that the Russians doing.
Absolutely. So the speed and sharpness of them gives the opponent the impression something's going to happen. So you try and force a reaction, but the distance stays quite long, so you still have space to see and exploit that reaction. KHARLAN blocked out a bit of a jarring hit there. It was a guard-to-guard action, and KHARLAN's elbow took a bit of a jarring. Should be all right, I think, just needs to shake that off.
So what, this is, as the guards hit each other, it's just jolted the elbow back?
Yeah,
or?
sort of if your elbow's a little bit straightened out and then, you know, it gets jarred, it just clunks the joint a little bit. The Canadian physio there used to fence actually in the Canadian squad back in the day. Attack right this time, KHARLAN out with the lunge a bit sharper. Both started together, but KHARLAN lunge first. And this is all so far in the middle 4 to 6 meters of the piece. Neither fencer wanting to give ground and give the attack away because each has a very strong attack.
Yeah, Marius Florea calling the hits here, and he's been absolutely on the money with every single one. Beautiful parry riposte in the end. A little bit of second intention there, luring, or a tease, luring her opponent in.
Absolutely, yeah, and very similar to the first hit, but this time KHARLAN, instead of standing her ground, took a long step back with the parry. And a parry riposte to finish the first half and take a 4-hit cushion into the break.
A similar action to the one before, but different footwork.
Slightly different, yeah. She held her ground in the middle that time, so Nikitina tried to finish earlier and went for chest, and you can see that lovely technique again that we talked about earlier from KHARLAN. Absolutely perfect position for the parry post. Yeah, stayed in the middle, drew the attack and preparation by closing distance, and then in the last second parry post, Nikitina thought she was going to be able to get attack and preparation. And KHARLAN has done what Lembash wasn't able to do in the first half, which is to use her blade actions to good effect in the middle. And if you can do that with Nikitina, then you can cancel out that fast attack off the line and attack on preparation. And then the Russian has to try and open out and use the piece. And we know how good KHARLAN is up and down the piece.
This is the thing, the solution to Nikitina's problem is still an advantage to the Ukrainian, because she is the full package. And I just want to reiterate what we said in the semi-finals. It's the efficiency of the movement, the blade movements from KHARLAN. She doesn't go 0.01 of a millimetre too far on a parry. It's exactly enough to cover off the attack, and therefore the riposte is so much quicker. Second period underway now. KHARLAN again a little slow off the line.
She was deliberately slowing the preparation down to look for attack into her opponent's step, but she just left it too late, and Nikitina got the priority. Attack, counter-attack for the Russian, who remains aggressive on her preparation as she was in the first half. KHARLAN maybe anticipating a change, thinking that she wasn't going to be able to pick up the parry because her opponent would slow down. And there you can see she realised her opponent hasn't changed, so she changed back to parry post.
Picking up the blade on the retreat, tries to look for counter block, but the right of way is with the Russian.
That's right, and as we were just saying, both these fencers have a really clinical long attack. The chances of picking up a defensive hit are quite low outside that middle period. Look at that control of distance by the young Russian, and they're finishing in the perfect moment.
You just see the Ukrainian launching her hand out. She doesn't have the right of way, so it is a counter action, and then she's trying to block out the attack. Referee doesn't split this one in the middle, though.
That's too close to call.
They've kind of found the same rhythm as each other at the moment.
Yeah, I think we'll see a change from KHARLAN. Just as I say that, she goes for the attack offline, which she hasn't done so far.
But the start of that first step was just a little bit slower, just a little bit slower.
It's a dummy. She does the slow steps. Her opponent's kind of watching, what's she going to do, what's she going to do, and suddenly change the rhythm off the back leg, disguising her intention to attack. Attack right. And again, the same rhythm. It's difficult to read. Slow front foot and sudden acceleration off the back leg to catch her opponent unawares.
It's like the front foot being planted after the start of the step is the beginning of the attack, right?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Very clever change of preparation. She's changed again now, open the distance. And there's that lovely long attack we saw earlier on in the semi and the last 8. So difficult to stop that attack of KHARLAN's.
Oh, looks for the parry in the middle there, but closing the distance, and Nikitina just found her way around that one.
She did. She looked for the parry a bit earlier that time, KHARLAN. She didn't finish her preparation, so the distance was a bit too long. There you can see during the step rather than at the end of the step, she was trying to parry. Oh. Beautiful, and that was a correction of that by finishing the step, keeping the distance longer, watching her opponent to the very last second, and then pulling out almost like a parry post and a lesson there.
Yeah, just giving herself enough room by finishing the step and then not moving forward again. She's giving more room to see where the line of the action is. And here you say very clever.
Well, opponent waiting for the parry to see where the parry was, and while she was waiting, she got hit on preparation. This has been a masterclass, tactical and technical masterclass by the Ukrainian.
Too good indeed. A counter action, a stop cut on the top of the arm for Olga KHARLAN. John Southfield, I asked you at the beginning by what score will Olga KHARLAN win this. I can give you the answer. It was a comprehensive 15-7 victory. She